Hey guys, this is Ghost, and today I'll be showing you 5 dangerous cults from around the world. Sit back and relax, because you're about to learn some shit. Number 5. Scientology. In the late 1940s, pulp fiction writer Lafayette Ronald Hubbard announced that writing for a penny a word is ridiculous. If a man really wants to make $1 million, the best way would be to start his own religion. It didn't take Hubbard long to walk his talk, mixing various methods of psychotherapy and mind techniques to create a form of regression therapy called Dianetics. Dianetics soon evolved into a full-fledged religion with thousands of followers from around the globe. Scientology is described today as one of the wealthiest institutions on the planet, but its notoriety doesn't stem from its fortune or its exotic teachings about alien civilizations. No, not quite. It comes from the aggressiveness of which by the church had faced its opponents, and its continuous efforts to silence its opposition through any means necessary. Despite being just 50 years old, the Church of Scientology has been one of the most litigious religious movements in history, filing countless lawsuits against governments, organizations, and individuals who dare to criticize it. The Church of Scientology has been described as a money-hungry commercial enterprise that exploits the status of religion to enjoy tax benefits. The history of Scientology is tainted with stories of fraud, intimidation, financial devastation, and criminal activities leading to the deaths of those trying to escape the religion. Number 4. Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was founded in the early 1970s and led by Marshall Applewhite. This was a pretty small group with founders who claimed to have arrived to Earth in a UFO from another dimension.
What?
The ideology of the group contains elements of Christianity mixed with unusual beliefs about UFOs. It was heavily inclined toward refusing the material world in order to transcend from it. Considering the soul a higher entity housed temporarily in the body, they taught their members to cut off all connections to this world gradually, which included things like cutting off friends and relatives, and even castration.
Alright, we call it a draw.
In 1997, the leaders of the group convinced their followers to commit suicide so that their souls could take a ride on a spaceship that they claimed was hiding behind Comet Hale-Bopp, which was supposedly carrying all the prophets and the creators of mankind. Consequently though, 39 people ended their lives while dressed in identical black shirts and sweatpants, while wearing armband patches reading Heaven's Gate Away Team. Number 3. Order of the Solar Temple. The Order of the Solar Temple was a secret society based on the myth of the continuing existence of the Knights Templar. The order was founded in 1984 by Joseph D. Mambro and Luc Jouret in Geneva, Switzerland. In October of 1994, a 3-month-old infant was killed with a wooden stake at the group's center in Warren Heights, Quebec. It is believed that D. Mambro himself ordered the murder because he identified the baby as the Antichrist described in the Bible.
Dude, nibble your bum.
He's got huge, sharp... he can leap about... Look at the bones!
Go on, boss, chop its head off. Right, silly little bleeder. One rabbit stew coming right up.
Look! Jesus Christ!
D. Mambro and Jouet convinced their followers that they were members of the historical Templars in a previous life. They also claimed that D. Mambro's daughter is a cosmic child who would lead them after death to a planet around the star Sirius, but in order to do so, they would have to die in a fire, as was prophesied for the end of the world. A few days later, D. Mambro and 12 followers performed a ritual Last Supper. After that, mass suicides and murders were conducted in Switzerland and Canada, during which more than 100 members had ended their lives. Number 2. Shinrikyo. Shinrikyo was a Japanese religious group created by Shoko Asahara. Its name means religion of truth. and its beliefs are a blend of Theravada Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and personal prophecies of Asahara. Asahara declared himself the Christ, and Japan's one and only enlightened being. He took upon himself the mission of carrying the sins of the world and cleansing his followers' bad karma.
You're short on ears and long on mouth.
He believed that World War III would start in 1997, and that it would result in a nuclear Armageddon, in which only those who joined Shinrikyo will survive. In 1995, the group had about 9,000 members in Japan and 40,000 worldwide. It attracted a lot of controversy since the 1980s after murdering several individuals critical to the occult. Following several failed attempts to acquire a nuclear bomb, the occult initiated 2 terrorist attacks against civilians in 1994 and 1995. The attacks marked the first use of chemical weapons in a terrorist attack, and resulted in the deaths of 20 people and the injury of more than 1,000. Asahara was arrested and convicted, thus the group was dissolved. When the police went to go raid Aum's headquarters, the police found stockpiles of explosives, chemical weapons, and biological warfare agents which could have been used for producing enough sarin gas to kill 4 million people. Number 1. The People's Temple. When Jim Jones started his little church in Indiana during the late 1950s, no one ever knew it was going to end up being the largest mass suicide in modern history. Jones started off as a Marxist in the American Communist Party. He later turned into a priest of the Methodist Church before launching his own personal cult. His anti-racial and pro-poor stances attracted thousands of followers and helped to boost the amount of members that he had and his donations. Believing that the world will end via nuclear war in the 60s, Jones moved his headquarters several times to a safe place. Former members described Jones as growing more and more delusional and inconsistent by the time. At one point, he stated that he was an atheist, denounced the Bible, and proclaimed that he was the reincarnation of Jesus, Mahatma Gandhi, the Buddha, and Vladimir Lenin, all at the same time. He moved with hundreds of his supporters to the temple's agricultural land in Guyana, and named the new place Jonestown after himself. The move came after being exposed to criticism from the American media who interviewed former members of his cult. These members gave testimonials of sexual and physical abuse. In Guyana, Jones's paranoia grew exponentially to the extent that some of his followers assassinated a U.S. congressman, along with 3 members of the media who came to Jonestown in order to investigate human rights abuse. On November 18, 1978, and following the orders of Jones, over 900 people committed the largest mass suicide to date by drinking a fruit punch mixed with cyanide. Fun fact: after the incident from the People's Temple, the phrase, drinking the kool-aid, was coined, which refers to a person or a group holding an unquestioned belief, argument, or philosophy without critical examination. It could also refer to knowingly going along with a doomed or dangerous idea because of peer pressure. So that about wraps it up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed watching, then please hit the like button and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, or just want to discuss, leave a comment below. I read all of my comments. Thank you guys so much for the support and watching the video. It does mean a lot to me. But with that, I'll catch you guys later, and remember, have a safe night.